trying to get a bit of an outlook, but it's washing out because there's too much of a contrast. But I've had one of my loyal subscribers, at least one, asking for an update. I've been quiet. What's very interesting is that I've been following fewer and fewer channels on YouTube. Some of the channels talk about property and how it's going to continue to go down. This kind of used to be that channel. It goes without saying that the property is, well, most likely going to go down. It is, to be fair to property, currently really the inspections and everything's opening up, so it's hard to say, and it's unfair to say that the property has gone down in price, in value, when people weren't even able to go and inspect it. So there may have been a demand, there may still be a demand, but there's limited inspections, but obviously it's all picking up now. But some of the channels, they talk about that, is a good time to get into property, as if you just going to get into it and sell it the next day or flip it, and the days of that are over. And not to mention that those days probably didn't even exist to a large extent in Australia, namely because over here we have a stamp duty, so it's say about 4%. So if you're buying something for $1 million, that's $40,000. Now, when you buy, for example, shares, I was looking at the fees and the brokerage fees of the share trading, and it is only 0.11%. So you'd be paying, if my calculation is correct, on $1 million buying worth of buying shares, you'd be paying $1,100 to buy that $1 million share. So 1,100 versus 40,000 to own a property. That's just giving it to the government. That's not any other expenses that you obviously need to do, due diligence, the legal cost and all that. So that's your entry point into property. You're down 4%, more like 6%. So you're down 6% just to be able to get into that. So I know where I want to put my money. Speaking of which, all these channels that are bearish have been very quiet as far as the stock market, because the stock market has been pumping. We've had this about 3-month recovery bounce from the lows in March. I don't know anyone who's actually buying, but somebody is, because the market's going up. I and everyone else that is not saying that they're buying would have missed out on this bounce. I even went short, so I got burnt a little bit. That's not pleasant, and that's how that all goes. I suppose it'll teach me not to be too bearish. And one of the other subscribers I met face to face here in northern Sydney did give me feedback that I'm a bit too bearish. That's probably true. I think I would have been better off being a bit more bullish on things. However, when you're too bullish, you become kind of everybody when you're jumping on the bandwagon of buying this next best thing, which has been for decades property, and then it's been a crypto. At work, we've got say about 8 guys in the team, and when the crypto was pumping, I was the only one who didn't buy, and I was the only one that actually didn't lose money. One of the guys was very smart. He bought the cryptos, and as soon as he made money to get out of it, he actually bought silver. That was a very smart strategy. So out of the 8, one didn't get in at all. So he did okay. That's me. One did really well by capitalizing on that crypto push, and he bought silver. So he's got silver in his hand now with the profit that he made, and the rest, say 6, lost money. So I think there was more than 6. There was 10. So out of the, say, at least 10, or there was few others, say 12. Out of the 12, 1 made money, 1 didn't get hurt, me, and 10 pretty much lost money. Now, always being bear is not a good thing, because this bounce was fantastic. You could have made yourself a lot of money. I didn't. I've got that. I do have that fear of missing out, but I'm told this is going to pull back. It's never gone up, and the market during these times has gone down. It looked like it bottomed out, especially when you saw the reaction 1920s and 1929 when it tanked. It took a little while and it kept going up. Everybody thought this was it, it's coming back, and then only to realize that it just went completely south. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen now, and if you keep thinking that, you'll never get into the market, any market. If you keep thinking it's going to go down, it won't. Eventually it'll all go up, probably with a big inflation, because central banks, there'll be all this monetary stimulus, and they will do anything to pump the values of the assets up, because you got to understand that people only pay capital gains tax when something goes up. Nobody makes money when it goes down, especially the government. So it's always in the government, central bank's interest to push everything up to keep everybody employed. I mean, we're saying now that the unemployment is not as high as they expected. Yeah, that's because there's a whole bunch of people who are not working, but they're not employed. I mean, if you're not working, you are unemployed, but you're not counted as employed. So that's just fudging figures. Will it get better? Hopefully, but I don't think it'll ever get back to, or at least for a long time, back to normal, which doesn't mean that the market won't pump, because you see what's going on in the United States. They got riots or protests, some peaceful, some not so much. There are 10,000 protesters across America have been arrested. So that's a big number, yet the market keeps going up. This is the market. The market's never wrong. The market doesn't care about people losing jobs somehow. It is disjoint from fundamentals a lot of the times. A lot of the times they don't make sense, which is why people who can actually read it, or computers, will more likely be making money. Most ordinary people, like I hate to say it, you and me, will most likely be on the losing end, one way or the other. If you missed out on this, if you're now trying to jump in because there's a fear of missing out, that's also dangerous, because the market seems toppy. Can you go up? You can double. Can you go down? Yeah, you can break the 4,400. I bet that it would have gone down in the last couple of months, and I paid for it. So moving forward, lesson learned. Where's it going? Probably a bit toppy now. Probably it will max out this month, June 2020, before it turns back down for another little correction. Hopefully I'll have the guts to get in, and hopefully it doesn't go down like it did in 1929 down to 1932. I think it just double bottomed, and if you have a look at the chart, which I might bring up for you in the next video, you'll see that it was horrible when it was looking like it was recovering, and the recession was behind. Ended up being a complete disaster as far as the market, and it kept going down, and it took I don't know how long, but very, very long time before it recovered. So if you did get in on that rebound and then it went down for years, it took you many years before you get back to even, which has to hurt. So with that, I didn't want to create a video. Like I said, a lot of the bears out there have been shut up by this bounce rally, including myself, which is why I haven't posted anything. But I thought I'd say a quick hello, probably longer than I thought. This is nearly 10 minutes now, but that's it for now. Once I get something new, any thoughts, I'll let you know. Put your comments in there, what your thoughts are. Most specifically, has anyone been buying this stock market? And what do you intend to do in the future? Will you sell it if you bought, or if you haven't bought, been sitting on the sidelines? Will you buy, or will you keep sitting on the sidelines? Because that's the $1 million question. It's actionable. We can talk about the news. We can turn on the TV for the news. It's all about the action. All right, bye for now. Take care.